Wow. Hey, it has been a day. Um, wow. It has been one of those days that nobody wants to do anything, and I'm having to pull teeth to get just the minimal things done. And I felt so incredibly discouraged because, you know, okay, when I started out this homeschool journey, I was thinking, it would be me gathered around the table with my kids, and Hannah would be coloring so sweetly, and Heath would be doing his work, and I would be helping him here and there, and Keelan would be reading a book or, doing whatever he needs to be doing. Everybody would be working on something, and I'm just kind of sitting there, floating back and forth between the two, and it's just like this serene, wonderful, beautiful thing, and the sunlight's coming in the window and the birds are chirping, and it's just this angelic scene. And okay, that was not today. That was not today. That is not to say that we don't have our good days, because we do have really good days. But today it was like I had to lose my junk to get them to do anything. Have you ever lost your junk on your kids, and then been so embarrassed about oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you. And then you have to go and apologize, and it's just embarrassing to have to apologize to your kid as an adult. To me, it is anyway. Just I'm prideful, I guess. That's one of my downfalls that I need to work on. But anyway, today was one of those days, and I personally, I didn't even really want to do work today either. It's springtime, and I have planted so many new flowers. I have planted 2 hydrangeas, a shrimp tree, a hosta, 2 Persian shields, 2 Texas sage plants, and 6 5-gallon buckets worth of white-acre peas. So I am, and a sago palm. So I'm outside having to keep all these new plants watered, make sure they're all doing well. And I planted zinnia seeds and marigold seeds in some, in my front flower bed and in some pots on my patio. So I've got a whole lot of things going on outside, and I just want to be outside doing all the things and weeding and pruning and watering and enjoying the outdoors. And I mean, you might be thinking, well, Heather, you could let the kids do school outdoors. It's homeschool. You can do whatever you want to do. Well, in the moment, I don't think of it that way. In the moment, what I'm thinking, and this is what I realized where I'm going wrong, is that all this time I've been trying to emulate public school. It's like I cannot let go of the schedule, the rigid schedule, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to have all these things. I got to have all these posters on the wall. I got to have the calendar. We got to talk about what day of the week it is. We got to talk about the holiday that it is. We got to talk about the current events that are happening, and all the things. We have to do all the things because we have to be caught up with public school kids. And I think it's because way down deep, my fear is that I'm just so worried that, when it comes down to it and it's the end of the year and we do our testing, that my kids won't test as well, and I'll feel like it's all my fault. And in reality, the test that they're going to take is a test that they cannot fail. They're going to be taking the NWEA test, which is a standardized test. So it does count as, a test that they have to take in Georgia. Now, really, they're only supposed to test every 3 years, so we don't have to test this year. We don't have to take a standardized test at all this year. But I wanted to, because I wanted to make sure that all the curriculum that I chose and everything that we've been doing is good enough and is enough, period. Or maybe it's too much. Maybe I'm pushing them too hard. I kind of need to know where we're falling with that, so I wanted to test them this year. But the NWEA test that they're taking, they can't fail it. It's not a pass or fail test. It's if you answer a question wrong, then the questions behind it get easier. If you get it right, then the questions behind it get a little harder. And it finds their level where they're at, and then the results tell you your child tested in math they're working at a 4th grade level, or in reading they're working at a 5th grade level, or in science they're working at a 3rd grade level, or whatever. So, really it's not a pass or fail thing. It's a thing to show me where we need to pick up, where we can slack off, not slack off, but you get what I'm saying, like where I don't have to be pounding so hard. And today was just one of those days that I just had to just let it go. I just had to say, you know what, this is homeschool and we can do things the way that we want to do them. I know I have done a video on our schedule. Like we had, let me get my agenda just so I can look back at it. We were doing Bible study, spelling, gather round, independent reading, morning work and journal, multiplication practice or time telling practice, depending on the kid who it was, an extra English language arts lesson with the good and the beautiful, then Me Academy, and then we were doing either history or science. It depended on the day. And this week I have decided we are going to greatly reduce our schedule because I'm having such pushback from the kids. I don't want to completely ruin their love of learning. So I have greatly reduced the schedule to me. I'm looking at my agenda now, is Me Academy first, then spelling, then independent reading, gather round, and then Bible study. And that's all we're doing. We have cut out the good and the beautiful English language arts. I have cut out the morning work in the journal. It was just busy work anyway. I have cut out the extra history lesson. I have cut out the extra science lessons. I have got it down to almost bare bones. Like we are still doing kind of above and beyond in some things, like the spelling. I really don't have to be doing the spelling because Me Academy covers spelling, but I feel like they need a little bit of extra on spelling, and they're only doing, on Monday they do 2 worksheets, and then every other day they do 1 worksheet, and then Thursday is their spelling test. So, it's not like it's that much. And gather round, they just do 1 sheet a day in that, and Bible study is, they just do, I read the lesson, and then they do like 2 worksheets in that. So that's not that bad. Me Academy is the one that takes the longest, and it takes Heath maybe 2 hours. It takes Keelan about 45 minutes to an hour, and they're done with Me Academy. So I've really had to sit down and tell myself, Heather, you have got to stop trying to mimic public school. This is not public school. This is homeschool. You can set this up however it benefits the kids, as long as they're still learning, as long as we're covering all the subjects that we are required by the state to cover, as long as we get in as many school days that we are required by the state. They can learn in so many other ways. They can be outside playing with sticks and swords and Nerf guns and using their imaginations. And that's social interaction. That's learning how to play with other kids. That's learning too. Kids learn through play. I truly believe that. And I'm not just talking about little kids like Hannah's age, like 3 and 4 years old. I'm talking about up to like 10, 12, even 13 years old. They learn through play, playing with Legos, playing with Play-Doh, playing with kinetic sand, playing with model car kits that they have to build, playing with, anything like that really gets their gears spinning and gets that imagination going. They're learning. And I've really had to remind myself of that this week, that I have been pushing them so hard, because my anxiety level about this test is like, I know you can't see it in the camera, but it's up here. Like it's at like level 100. And I'm trying to keep it down, especially in front of the kids, and not really talk about it in front of the kids, because I don't want to stress them out. But yeah, we have had a major schedule change. And I realized I was making them do so many things that learning was not fun anymore. It's just a lot of work for them to do. It's a lot of things. They were working, close to 5 hours a day. And that's constant work. Now, you may say, well, they're in public school for 7 hours a day. Okay, but at public school, they're, having to disrupt class for something, for some fire drill or alarm drill, or they're having to disrupt class because of a behavior problem of one or two little kids, or they're having some kind of assembly, or they're having some kind of a reward day, or this or that, their school day is constantly getting interrupted. And I have actually seen online, I can't really remember where I saw this, but I have read somewhere that in reality, they are only getting about 2 to 3 hours per day of literal instruction time. That's all they're getting. Everything else is like I said, assemblies, reward days, PE, things like that. You know, things that take them out of the classroom and away from their books, away from the computer. And in my mind, I'm just like, I have been making these kids, I've been treating them like workhorses because of my anxiety over this test that we're getting ready to take at the end of the year. And my purpose in this video is to encourage you that obviously if you're watching this video, you're probably homeschooling. If you're not, you're probably thinking about it. But it's to encourage you to remember that this is homeschool, not public school. You can do this however it best suits your child. You can teach your child in whatever manner you want to, as long as you're covering all the required subjects, as long as you're getting in the amount of days that you're supposed to get in. I mean, I know there's laws that we have to follow, and I get that, I understand that. But you can get really, really creative with the way that you do it. And I don't want you to be like me. I don't want your anxiety over a test that your kid has to take at the end of the year to push you into pushing them to do so much work that they absolutely hate it every single day. That is not the goal. My goal is to get them excited about learning, to get them to enjoy it, to be happy about it, to not fuss and cry that they even have to do it. It should not be like pulling teeth to get it done. Now, today it was, but I think it was because, like, I don't know how your kids are, but with mine, if we don't get it done before lunch, it's just not happening. It's just not happening. And that's not a good thing, because me and my lazy behind over here, here lately, I have been waiting and starting at 11 o'clock. So, you know, then we work, and then by 12, they're starving, they're ready for lunch. And then after they eat lunch, they're done. Done. Finite. Finished. Ready to go. Ready to play. Ready to go home. Ready to whatever. I'm watching this squirrel. He's trying to get in my bird feeder, and I'm getting really agitated. I'm about to let the dog out. I know that sounds really mean, doesn't it? But they open the bird feeder and they dump all of the bird seed that I just poured in there out into the ground. And unless they want to start, I don't know, picking up pine cones and earning a living around here and buy the bird seed, then they need to stay out of my bird feeders. Anyway, that was like a squirrel moment. That was a rabbit trail. I'm sorry. But anyway, what I'm saying is, we need to be flexible, right? In homeschool, you need to be flexible, and you need to pay attention to your kids. You need to pay attention to, are they crying every single day? Are they digging their heels in the ground every single day? You know, there's so many ways that you can change it up. You can change up your schedule. You can change the time of day that you do it. You can change the books that they're reading. If you had it in your head that they were going to be reading Huckleberry Finn and all this living literature like Charlotte Mason says they need to be reading that's good for them, but all they want to read is like comic book type books, let them read the comic books. If they'll read it, let them read it. I mean, if it helps them grow a love of learning, then let them do it. That's what I've had to start doing, like with Heath, because I have tried historical fictions, I have tried mysteries, I have tried all kind of things. And he really likes this series called Dogman. Don't ask me, I don't know. And it looks like a comic book. Now, it's in chapters. It's about this thick. It's a chapter book. But it comes in, oh, geez, my foot's going to sleep. I'm sitting sideways, sorry. But anyway, it comes in a book form, but it reads like a comic book. Like, it has lots of colorful pictures, and it's in the little squares with the little thought bubbles and all the things. But he will sit there and actually read the chapter without fussing. Now, if I were to give him Charlotte's Web, he would read a page and be like, Mama, why can't you read a page and I read a page? This is so much. I don't like this. That's just how he is. And I have to learn to just let it go, to just let it be. If that's what he likes to read, that is what we will read, because he has to have independent reading time, right? I mean, are we agreed on that? Is that something that y'all do with your kids? They have to have some kind of independent reading time? Because I personally feel like that's very important. I know that they work on reading on like Me Academy and stuff, and they're kind of working on it with reading directions on the worksheets that they have to do. But I feel like they need to find something that they love so they can learn how to love to read and get lost in a book and use their imaginations when they're reading that book. And that's just important to me. I personally love to read. I've always loved to read. Like, when I was a kid, I would sit in my bed and I would just read for hours. And I want that so bad for my kids. Now, will it happen? I don't know. Probably not. My oldest will not pick up a book unless he's required to by his teacher. But he's a straight A student. He's like, I think he's the 10th in his class right now, but will not pick up a book unless it's required and he has to do a book report on it. Otherwise, he's playing baseball, or he's playing video games, or he's hanging out with his girlfriend. So let that encourage you too. If your child is like, nah, I don't want to read, I hate reading this, as long as they can read, fine. Find them something that they enjoy. Take them to the library, let them look through the books, let them look at the pictures, let them find something that they like, even if it's not on Charlotte Mason's living literature book list. You know, I mean, and I'm not making fun of parents that really go by that and their kids actually enjoy those kind of books. I'm not making fun of that. I'm just saying that's just not up my kid's alley. It breaks my heart, but it's just not up his alley. So, you know, that was another thing I wanted to encourage you to about, if, you know, with the schoolwork, you know, just digging in the heels, not wanting to do it, not wanting to get it done. Like the morning work that I had him doing, that was kind of like, I hate to call it busy work, but it was just busy work. It was so that I could be working with the other child while one was doing something that was independent. And I want them to learn how to work independently on other things as well. So I took out the morning work and the journal. Now the journal, I stopped and I looked at it and I looked at, you know, the topics that they were writing about. They would only write 1 or 2 sentences and draw a picture. How beneficial is that? Not very. Not very at all. Oh, my hair's sticking out. Why didn't y'all tell me? Why didn't y'all say something? Oh my golly. It's a hair day. Oh, honey. Anyway, so like today, all we got done was Me Academy. We did not do spelling, we did not do reading, we did not do gather round, and we even didn't do Bible study. And I know that's horrible because I like them to do Bible study every day. The Bible study curriculum that I use is Answers in Genesis, and personally, I love it. I feel like it teaches them a lot of things, but it is a lot for them to digest because they just have to sit there for like 15 full minutes while I read the lesson. So I'm thinking about figuring out a way to bust that up into multiple days so they don't have to just sit there and listen to me read, because there is no reason that we have to fly through the curriculum. There's no reason that we have to be done with it by a certain day. We homeschool year round. And on top of that, even if you homeschool, but you don't homeschool year round, if you follow the public school calendar, if you're not done with the curriculum at the end of the year, it's okay. It's fine. I mean, have you ever, like, if you were in public school as a kid, did you ever completely finish a textbook? I don't think I ever did. I don't remember getting to the back of my chemistry book. I don't recall getting to the back of my math book. We got pretty close to the end, but I don't ever recall getting, actually finishing off a book. They give cushion, they give wiggle room because they know that things like this will come up. They know that days will come up that the kids will just dig in their heels and just don't want to do it. And it takes everything out of the teacher for them to get the bare minimum done. Everybody has days like that. And that is the day that I had today, because we had co-op this morning, which was great. I loved it. We did some amazing little crafts for that they're going to take to some folks in the nursing home. We learned some songs that we're going to sing to them. We had a lesson by a couple of very wonderful ladies that they talked about how important it is to still include the elderly in your life, and how important it is to be respectful of them and still, talk to them and make them feel important and still love on them. It was the sweetest lesson. So I'm really glad we went. So we went to co-op, and then I took them to Chick-fil-A for lunch. We got to eat outside. That was wonderful. That is a great perk of being a homeschooler, is you don't have to eat school cafeteria food. You can go to Chick-fil-A if you want to. So you can get the ice cream, you can get the cookie, and it's fine. You can have the nuggets. You don't have to have the whatever they feed you at school these days. I don't know, but I know it ain't good. But we got to eat outside, so we got to enjoy the beautiful weather. They ran around, like, even though it's not a playground out there anymore, they still kind of ran around the tables because we were the only ones out there. So they kind of ran around the tables and got some energy out. Even Hannah was running around the tables and just being wild and silly. And I just let them do it because like I said, we were the only ones out there. So they had a great time at that. That got them all hyped up. And then we had to go do a grocery order pickup. And then by the time we got home, it was like 1 o'clock. And like I said, if you don't get it in before lunchtime, it's just not happening. And I've said before, we don't school on Fridays. What I'm thinking I might do, and this has come up in my mind just earlier today, what I'm thinking we might do is on Tuesdays, we'll go to co-op and do all the things with that, go out to eat lunch like we always do, and do no schoolwork on Tuesday. But then Friday, we will do schoolwork on Fridays. Because at co-op, we do a little lesson anyway. So they are getting in a couple hours worth of education in at the co-op. So that counts. So I'm thinking about doing that. And so see, you can, like, even just with that, you can be flexible. You can be flexible with your schedule. Now, I know that may not work for some parents. Some parents may work part-time and have to follow a very strict homeschooling schedule. Some parents may actually work full-time and school their kids in the evening too, and that's fine. Really, I'm just talking about me and what works for my household. I don't work right now. I just stay at home with them all the time. So what might work for me is just doing co-op on Tuesday and start picking up doing schoolwork on Fridays, like doing the schoolwork on Fridays instead of Tuesdays. That way it's not such a fight and an argument and we hate this and you're so mean and all the things. So anyway, but yeah, I know this video was all over the place. I know I talked about a lot of things. I just kind of like word vomited everything on top of you. It's actually kind of a long video and I'm really sorry. But that's just how it is. Sometimes at the end of the day, you just need to get it out. And I think I just needed to get it out. We had one of those days today where it was not a beautiful, wonderful homeschooling scene where everybody was coloring and laughing back and forth and being sweet and having fun and doing their work and all the things. I'm looking around at my classroom right now and it is a hot stinking mess. Like there's crayons everywhere. My laptop is turned upside down on the table. There's marker spots all over my tablecloth where the markers got left with their caps open. I got my agenda out. I've got their spelling test from last week that I still have not put away, and it's Tuesday. I've got all kind of things going on in here. There's Legos in the floor. There's books in the floor over there. Like, if I'm going to try to, and if I can, I'll insert a clip of like Keelan was standing up at the table doing his work, and he was like stepping on the books that were on the floor. I cannot stand it when they step on the books, but they do it. And then I turn around, and in the living room, I have a big mess all over the coffee table. It's just like a bunch of random stuff that's just sitting there that they put there. And Heath is sitting at the table, and he's looking at me like, what am I doing? What are you doing? What's going on? And he's supposed to be working, and he's just sitting there doing his own thing. And then my poor little dog is just sitting in the floor looking at me like, what's going on? So anyway, if I can, I'll try to figure out how to insert the clip of that. But that is how that is how my homeschool day looked today. It was not beautiful. It was not precious in his sight. It was not. It was precious in no one's sight. It was not a great day, but we pulled through. We got it done. And at the end of the day, I just remind myself that we will have days like this. This does not mean that I have to throw my hands up and wash my hands of it and say, you know what, I'm done. I'm finished. We're not doing this anymore. I can't homeschool. I can't do this, because not every day is going to be like this. Not every day will. If you do have a lot of days like that, then maybe you need to make a schedule change as well. Maybe you need to stop and take a look. I'm watching these two little birds fighting over the bird seed too. Sorry, I keep getting so distracted because the way I'm filming, like right behind me is this huge window. It's a double window that looks out into my backyard, and there's birds at the bird feeder, like literally 4 different types of birds. There's squirrels coming down there trying to get the bird feeder. There's butterflies flying across the window. It's just, yeah, it's the whole thing. So every time I look up, that's what I'm looking at. But anyway, you know, it like I said, if you're having that kind of issue where your kid is crying every day, they are digging in their heels every day, not wanting to do everything, they are fussing and saying, I hate school, maybe you need to make a schedule change. Maybe you need to stop trying to emulate public school if that's what you're doing. Maybe your anxiety is getting to you, and it's making you push your kids so hard because you're so terrified that they're not going to perform well, because you're also so terrified of what other people think of you as a homeschool parent. That is something that I worry about. I worry about, what do people think of me as a homeschool parent? Like, do they think that I'm just letting my kid run around in his underwear and do whatever he wants all day? I feel the need to post things multiple times a day just because I want people to see that we actually are doing our work. I feel the need to, tell people that this is what we're doing today, this is what we're doing, and all these things, just so, I'm going to be honest, just so it makes me look like I'm being a good homeschool mom. That's all there is to it. There it is. I said it. It's for me, and that's not how it should be. It should be for the kids. It should be all about the children. I'm gonna start crying. It should be about meeting them where they're at, helping them where they need help, loving on them when they need love, being there for them when they need it, and holding their hand on this education journey so that they feel confident when they grow up, that they can do what they need to do to be a productive member of society. That's what it should be about. It should not be about what I post on Facebook. It should not be about the crafts that we're doing that I can show everybody. It should not be about this cute little classroom that I've decorated up so that I can tell people, oh, we have a classroom in our house. It shouldn't be about me filling up this calendar and agenda with things. And it shouldn't be about me spending lots of money on curriculum that we end up not even using because the kids hate it. It should be about those other things. It should be about the kids. So anyway, like I said, this video has been all over the place. But like I've also said before, I really want to create a community that encourages one another, that loves on one another. And I feel like I can't do that unless I'm transparent with y'all. And that was me just now being as transparent as I could be. I want you to know that I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. You got this. You can do it. You just have to be flexible. Sometimes you have to make changes. Sometimes you have to learn new things. I don't know if you've watched my video about, the one reason you should not homeschool, but my one reason that you should not homeschool is if you're not willing to learn how to do new things. And wow, this video is pushing 30 minutes. I need to get off of here. It's going to take forever to upload it. But anyway, I just want y'all to know that I love y'all and I'm here for you. If you need any encouragement, let me know in the comments. If you need any prayer, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, give it a like. If you ever have one of the days like I had today, rewatch the video and listen to it again. Anytime you need to, I'm here for you. I'm doing my best to be here for my community. So anyway, I think I'm going to wrap up the video with that, but just know that you got this. You can do this, and we are all in this together, okay? I love y'all.